The 2026 World Cup has already started, and a lot of people are watching it without fully understanding what they're watching, not because they're dumb, but because FIFA changed everything, and nobody really sat down to explain it properly. So that's what we're doing right now. In the next few minutes, you'll understand this tournament better than most people who are actually attending it. Let's go. First, the big number. 48 teams. That's the headline. For the last 28 years, the World Cup had 32 teams. Then FIFA looked at that number, looked at how much money a bigger tournament would make, and said, what if we added 16 more countries? And here we are. Now, 48 teams sounds like chaos. And honestly, in theory, it kind of is. But in practice, FIFA found a way to make it work. Just barely. Here's the structure. 48 teams get split into 12 groups, 4 teams per group. Each team plays 3 matches. And this is where it gets interesting, because the old World Cup had 8 groups. Now there are 12. More groups means more matches. The group stage alone features 72 games. The entire 2022 World Cup had 64 total. We've already blown past that, and we haven't even hit the knockout rounds yet. By the time this tournament ends, 104 matches will have been played. 104. That's not a World Cup. That's a lifestyle. Okay, so who actually advances? This is the part that confuses everyone. In each group of 4, the top 2 teams move on automatically. Simple enough. But here's the twist. The 8 best third-place teams across all 12 groups also advance. So you can finish third. You can be the team that barely scraped through, and you still make the next round. This sounds generous. It is generous. Intentionally so. In theory, a team could draw all 3 group stage games and still qualify. 3 draws, 0 wins, no goals if you're careful enough. And you keep playing. That's not a bug in the system. That's the design. So what happens when 32 teams survive the group stage? They go into the round of 32. This is a new round. It didn't exist at the last World Cup. You play 1 game, you lose, you go home. Welcome to the bracket. Then it goes round of 16. Quarterfinals, semifinals, third place match, final. Classic knockout football from that point on. 1 mistake ends your tournament. That part hasn't changed. The final is scheduled for MetLife Stadium in New York on the 19th of July. Biggest stadium, biggest market. Makes sense. Now, about the 3 host countries. The United States, Mexico, and Canada are all hosting matches. 16 venues across the continent. That's never been done before in World Cup history. 3 nations sharing 1 tournament. The US gets the most games, including the final. Mexico and Canada each host group stage and early knockout matches. Teams could play their group stage in 1 country and then fly to another for the round of 32. That's not a metaphor. That is literally what's happening. Here's where it gets a little complicated. The tiebreakers. If 2 teams finish with the same number of points in a group, FIFA goes through a checklist. Goal difference first. Then total goals scored. Then head-to-head record. Then fair play. Basically, who got fewer yellow and red cards. And if somehow all of that is identical, they draw lots. Random chance. At the biggest sporting event on earth. This sounds simple. It isn't. Because when you're a team in 3rd place, you don't just need to know your own results. You need to know what's happening in 11 other groups. You need to calculate whether your goal difference is better than that 3rd place team in Group F who just won 3-0. It's math homework. During the World Cup, people have 2 big complaints about this format. Let me give them both a fair shot. Complaint 1, it dilutes the quality. More teams means more mismatches. More games, where a powerhouse beats a smaller nation 5-0 in the group stage. These matches don't produce tension. They produce stats. Complaint 2, player welfare. The tournament runs for 39 days. Most top European League seasons restart just 1 month after the final. Players who go deep in this World Cup get almost no off-season. That's a real problem that nobody at FIFA seems to be losing sleep over. But here's the counter-argument, and it's a strong one. Countries that have never been to a World Cup before are here. Nations that have never had their flag on that stage, their anthem played in front of 100,000 people, their players running out under those lights. For those teams, this isn't a watered-down World Cup. It's the only World Cup they've ever known. That matters. It matters a lot. Depending on who you are and where you're from, this expansion either feels like the greatest thing FIFA has ever done, or a corporate cash grab dressed up as inclusion. Both things can be true at the same time. So here's where we land. At the start of this, I said a lot of people are watching this tournament without really understanding it. And the honest truth is, the format is confusing because it's new. Because the rules changed, and nobody handed out a manual. But now you have one. 48 teams, 12 groups, 8 best third-place finishers sneak through, round of 32. Then Classic Knockout, one final. July 19th. New York. The question that's going to define this tournament isn't whether the format works. It's whether we fall in love with it anyway. And if the last few days are any indication, we just might. If you want more breakdowns like this, tactics, upsets, everything that's happening at this World Cup, subscribe. New video coming soon. See you there.